Think about the stuff sitting on your bathroom counter right now. You probably got a simple face wash, maybe a gentle moisturizer. For millions of us, these products are deeply trusted everyday staples. We literally don't think twice about using them. But recently, those exact products became the center of a massive, explosive internet panic. We're talking about the CeraVe cancer scare. And today, in this explainer, we are going to unpack exactly what is really going on behind all those terrifying headlines.
It is honestly amazing how much power a few words can hold. Does CeraVe contain cancer-causing chemicals? That was a dramatic headline spreading across social media like absolute wildfire. And you can probably imagine the immediate reaction, right? The shocking claim sparked intense fear, widespread confusion, and some seriously heated debates online. It led to everyday consumers literally running into their bathrooms and chucking their skincare products straight into the trash into total panic. Meanwhile, others were just dismissing the whole thing as pure misinformation. So you have to wonder, is one of the world's most popular skincare brands actually hiding a dangerous secret? Or is this just another case of internet panic moving way faster than the facts?
To get to the bottom of this, here is our roadmap for today's explainer. First, the viral cancer scare. Second, the chemistry behind benzoyl peroxide and benzene. Third, lab tests versus everyday reality. And finally, the misinformation epidemic.
Okay, let's jump right into Section 1, the viral cancer scare.
For years, this brand built a rock-solid reputation on simple, science-backed skin barrier protection. Recently, their cleansers and moisturizers became essential global bathroom staples. But then 2024 hits, and a sudden controversy explodes online regarding the safety of some of their most popular acne treatment products. Literally decades of a trusted, squeaky clean reputation violently collided with a viral controversy in just a matter of days, setting the internet completely on fire.
That brings us to Section 2, benzoyl peroxide and benzene.
Let's start by looking at the ingredient right at the center of the storm here, benzoyl peroxide. This is a super common ingredient used to kill acne-causing bacteria and reduce inflammation. It is highly effective, intentional, and genuinely helpful in countless acne treatments all around the world. So just to be clear, it is not some secret, hidden toxin maliciously added to your face wash. It is supposed to be there, and it does a very specific, helpful job for acne-prone skin.
The real issue starts when we introduce the second chemical into this equation, benzene. This is the word that triggered global alarm bells the second it was mentioned alongside popular skincare. See, benzene is an industrial chemical used in manufacturing, and it is a known carcinogen. Because long-term exposure to high levels of benzene is linked to certain blood cancers and other really serious health conditions, health agencies strictly regulate our exposure to it. Naturally, the moment the word benzene was linked to a daily morning routine, fear rapidly took over. But how on earth did we get from benzoyl peroxide?
Well, here's how this builds into the core allegation made by an independent laboratory. The claim basically works in 3 steps. Step 1, the helpful ingredient, benzoyl peroxide, is present in the product. Step 2, the product is exposed to very specific storage or environmental conditions. Step 3, under those specific conditions, the benzoyl peroxide breaks down, potentially forming benzene as a byproduct. Now, I want to be incredibly clear about this because a lot of viral posts conveniently left this detail out completely. The lawsuits filed weren't alleging that benzene was intentionally poured into the skincare products. The concern was that it might form as a byproduct under very specific circumstances.
Let's move to Section 3, lab tests versus reality.
So as public concern blew up, regulatory officials stepped in and launched independent testing. And what they found painted a much more complicated picture than those scary viral headlines suggested. For a lot of the tested products, regulators found absolutely no detectable benzene whatsoever. None. For other tested products, they did find it, but at extremely low levels. Ultimately, officials stated that the overall risk to the average consumer appeared to be very, very small. That is a pretty stark contrast to the massive panic we all saw online.
And this contrast perfectly highlights the core of the scientific debate. On one hand, the independent lab tests that started this whole controversy utilized unusually high temperatures in extreme environmental conditions to trigger that chemical breakdown. But on the other hand, real-world consumer use is just normal storage in a typical room temperature bathroom. So the big question is, was this an overlooked safety issue that deserves serious attention? Or were the risks being wildly exaggerated by applying intense laboratory heat to a standard bottle of face wash?
There's a quote that really captures the essence of these ongoing discussions. Just because something happens in a laboratory doesn't necessarily mean it happens in everyday life. It is absolutely vital to note that while investigations and legal proceedings are very much ongoing to find the complete truth,
no definitive evidence has emerged showing that typical, everyday use of these products poses a significant cancer risk to the average consumer. Science is, quite frankly, rarely as simple as a 10-second viral video makes it out to be.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 4, the misinformation epidemic.
Listen, if there is one key takeaway you remember from this explainer today, let it be these essential distinctions. Because in our hyper-connected digital age, we forget them way too often. A lawsuit is not proof. An accusation is not a verdict, and a viral post is absolutely not scientific evidence. The social media ecosystem basically thrives on alarming headlines. And sadly, those posts almost always leave out the critical, frankly boring, details of careful methodological investigation.
The harsh reality is that fear travels much, much faster than careful investigation. Posts flat out claiming a brand causes cancer spread rapidly across platforms. Millions of people hit the share button based purely on a dramatic headline, without ever reading the context, without understanding the chemistry of benzoyl peroxide, and without looking at the actual lab conditions. This kind of digital amplification turned a specific, nuanced regulatory inquiry into an unnecessary widespread panic. So, to bring it all together and answer the question on everyone's mind, based on the current facts, no definitive evidence proves that typical use of CeraVe products causes cancer. Now, yes, valid concerns were absolutely raised about the potential formation of benzene as a byproduct under specific conditions, and scientists, regulators, and courts are rightfully continuing to examine that evidence. But until clearer, definitive answers emerge from those rigorous tests, we as consumers have to rely on verified, factual information, not the viral hype designed to scare us into clicking.
Which leaves us with this final, provocative thought to consider. In today's world, what is actually more dangerous, the chemical in the bottle or the misinformation spreading online? It's a really serious question about modern media literacy. When fear spirals totally out of control before the science can even catch up, we have to pause, question the fear-mongering, and seek out the actual facts. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer,